Hey everybody, it is Colin Nitro for Nitro Maniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited, and a quick, in brief, Nitro's take on New Year's Dash, which took place on January 6, 2020, from the Ota City General Gymnasium in Tokyo, Japan. This is the first time that they ran Ota City with this particular card. It used to be at the Korakuen Hall, just, I guess, across the street from the Tokyo Dome, or the same neighborhood. But yeah, this was kind of a special card, and it kicked things off with Jushin Thunder Liger's retirement ceremony. There's not a lot of talking that I can do to convey to you guys and put this thing into justice what it was. It's just one of those things where you're just going to have to go back on New Japan World and take a look at it and, be the judge for yourself what it is. But I think that it was one of the classiest retirement ceremonies we've seen since Ric Flair retired over in the WWE about, it's almost like well past 10 years ago now, 12 years ago now. I think that this was, or even a Shawn Michaels retirement or something like that back in 2010. This was very classy. They had a great video package that encompassed the last 30 years. The roster hit the ring and Liger posed with them. This is a great moment. They kind of did this by factions. So Tanahashi's faction walked out first, and then Chaos with Okada walked out right after Tanahashi's people left the ring. Okada wanted a selfie with Liger. He got it. And then president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Harold Midge, I think could hardly hold it together because he held it together long enough for a photo opportunity with Liger. Then you could see him when he was leaving the ring. He was pretty choked up. Antonio Inoki, via a video message, gives his best. I popped, complete with the red sash and everything. Then after Liger spoke a bit in the ring, did a little bit of a speech. They told the bell 10 times. That's a first. I guess it's honoring the death of a character or the retirement of a character. Usually this is done under more grim circumstances, but it was kind of, a little bit refreshing to see that honor go that way to that character. And then they tossed, then the roster kind of rushed the ring again and picked up Liger and tossed him in the air. It was like a baseball team celebrating a win. It was super classy. I'm glad they didn't do an angle out of it. And there was talk after they all vacated the ring and that stuff. The whole ceremony goes about 15-20 minutes or so. Chris Charlton was saying that this was pitched to be the main event portion of the evening. This was going to be the portion that would go on last for New Year's Dash. But Liger wanted it to go on first because it's the Liger way. He was never really big on the main events, even though he's main evented countless number of events across the world or around the world. He's an opening match guy. He likes being in that opening contest spot with the younger talent, right? So that's his big thing. That's what he loves to do. And so I was glad that for one more time he was able to do it. So finally, we get into some wrestling action. We have a 6-man opener between the LA Dojo and Toa Hanare and the Tokyo Dojo. Again, all the matches going into this card were kept secret. They were kind of unveiled to us at the beginning of the evening via, well, there's a graphic right there, via these handy match graphics and that stuff at the beginning of the night. I think it's the first time I've ever seen with this card, particularly, that they did a mystery format with the card where we knew nothing with the exception of the Liger retirement ceremony, what was going down on January 6th. So lots of tag matches. This was the opener, the 6-man opener. There was a little bit of discrepancy between Alex Coughlin and Clark Connors a little bit. Maybe something to watch for in 2020. But Carl Fredericks, the third member of that LA Dojo team, is stiff. He's primetime ready. He kind of reminds me of a 2003-2004 pre-Evolution, entering Evolution Randy Orton a little bit. He's kind of got that vibe to it. Fredericks got the tap-out win. The LA Dojo wins. And I was watching this event live, but this is where I went to bed. But I watched the rest of the matches on Dayside on the Monday right after. And as it went dark for me and for everything, Hanare wants Shingo Takagi. Oh boy, that would be a good matchup. Maybe we'll get that at the New Beginning card, so we'll see what happens. But Shingo has plans of his own, which we'll find out a little bit later on what they are on this card. Up next was the non-title four-way tag team match. Suzuki-gun of El Desperado and Kanemaru took on the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions Roppongi 3K, Los Ingobernables de Japón, Takahashi, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Hiromu Takahashi, and Bushi, and the Bullet Club tandem of El Fantasmo, the former champions, and Taiji Ishimori. This match started hot. A four-way match means you can tag in any team at any time. That's the rules that they were using. First pinfall or submission got it. Sho got a 2 count on Desperado after a lung blower. Bushi rolled in and tried to miss El Desperado. Despi ducked, and Sho got the miss point blank. This is the finish, and 1-2-3 for Despi and Kanemaru. So Suzuki-gun pulling a little bit of an upset victory with this caliber of teams and that stuff involved there. Then there was the announcement of the total attendance for Wrestle Kingdom weekend. Total attendance, of course, was 70,449. So tonight was the 4,149 in there. It looked like a building that could seat about 5,000 people if you watch the broadcast. So that number seems to jive quite a bit. Up next was the 8-man tag on the evening. The Bullet Club foursome of Bad Luck Fale, Chase Owens, and the Gorillas of Destiny taking on Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Finjuice. So you see Ibushi and Tanahashi teaming here in this match, which is quite rare. And, the tag team contenders for that IWGP Tag Team Championship, the champions and the challengers, kind of renewing hostilities here. Finjuice walked out with these neat little Liger caps that the horns kind of moved up and down. I loved it. They're like little caps you put on your head, and you pull the thing, and the arms go whoop, whoop, whoop like that. So Finjuice are hilarious. I love those guys. The Bullet Club grabs the early advantage, though, and carried it through the first few minutes. Ibushi, though, fighting back under odds is amazing. Owens got a 2 count with the Jewel Heist after Jado nailed Ibushi with the kendo stick. This was a finish. Ibushi gets the free count off of the Kamigoye. Ibushi and Tana look great as a tag team. And then post-match, the challenge is issued that, wait a second, Finjuice was teaming with guys who want to challenge them for the belt. So we could see this in Sapporo. I didn't see anything in the recent days and that stuff saying that this will happen, but I would think it probably will. Tana and Ibushi versus Finjuice during New Beginning in Sapporo for the IWGP Tag Team titles. So pay attention for that. That's coming up in almost a month's time or so. Wow. Straight tag team match coming up next, where we had Shingo Takagi and Evil from LIJ taking on Hiroki Goto and Tomohiro Ishii. There was a neat near fall via the Darkness Falls finisher on Ishii by Evil in the first 30 seconds. I thought that was going to wrap up the match fairly quickly. I was like, wow, squash. All right, but then Goto and Takagi renew hostilities. There was a reckless spot here in this match a little bit early on. Evil practically baseball style swinging a chair at Ishii, but Ishii had a chair wrapped around his neck already, so the baseball swing nailed the chair, and it kind of spiraled off of Ishii's neck and kind of spun out into the general seating. The chair went flying. It got some height to it too, so yikes. And this was just shaping up Goto and Takagi for the never openweight belt. Ishii kicked out of another Darkness Falls later on in the match. Variation on the GTR for Goto on Takagi, gets a 2 count. But Shingo hit his own GTR variation into Blast of the Dragon, 1, 2, 3. LIJ wins. This was Dark Horse match of the night for me. I really liked it. Takagi then walks out and lays down the challenge for the rubber match for the never openweight title. Because they are sitting at 1 fall apiece after 2019. Again, something to look forward to for Sapporo later on. Up next, more 8-man action with Chaos versus Suzuki-gun. Ospreay and ZSJ started off. The UK fans and fans around the world are going nuts at this point, just due to the fact that this could be, a feud for the Rev Pro belt here coming up into Sapporo and potentially beyond. So we'll see. Then it breaks down. Robbie Eagles, though, getting beat on the outside by Minoru Suzuki. That was crazy. Finish of the match, Taichi uses the fingers of the retired Iizuka to, that gold or that silver glove he had to get the disqualification or to cause a disqualification on Okada. But right before Taichi could do any damage on Okada, though, again, potentially another feud going forward into Sapporo is going to be Taichi and Okada. They kind of set the seeds in motion there. Jon Moxley's music hits, and we get another epic encounter with Suzuki and Moxley, in which Mox hits Suzuki with the Death Rider. Mox Suzuki U.S. title, yes, confirmed. New beginning in Sapporo. Jon Moxley, Minoru Suzuki, one-on-one. IWGP U.S. Heavyweight title. Book it. It's going to happen. I think they're saying it's going to happen on night 2. Gotta go back for the notes and saying, but during that New Beginning in Sapporo event, we will have Moxley, Suzuki, one-on-one for the U.S. title. Main event time. It's a tag team match. Go figure. Jay White and Kenta of the Bullet Club taking on Tetsuya Naito and Sonata. Interesting pre-match as White states by walking by the English commentary booth and Kelvin Kelly just basically handing him a mic, which they always do, states it's all for one and one for all for Bullet Club, and that he has no issue with Kenta jumping him in line. Remember, about a year ago, when Jay White was anointed the quote-unquote de facto leader of Bullet Club, one of his mission statements was that nobody in the club would jump ahead of him in line for number one contenderships for belts, i.e. the Intercontinental or the US or the IWGP title. So this is kind of a change of pace, change of messaging for White. I like it. I think it's foreshadowing something, though, later on in the year. We'll have to wait and see. But could there be, again, another Bullet Club squabble later on between White and Kenta? Who knows, right? Naito and Kenta start hot because that's how they ended Wrestle Kingdom, and this was just planting the seeds for Sapporo here, because this is more of a fight than a match to start. It kind of settles down, and Sonata grabbed a free count on Jay White. Shocking upset, but right after that, Kenta and Naito have been brawling since the opening bell. They continue to brawl here. It basically was a singles match between White and Sonata after the opening bell, with Kenta and Tetsuya Naito going head to head out there. And then we branch off into the two feuds that come out, and then we branch off into the two programs that kind of come off of this program, where we got Jay White issuing a challenge to Sonata. Again, not entirely sure, haven't had a chance to look at the New Beginning in Sapporo cards for both nights, but I would think it would be around that ballpark there. But we know for sure IWGP Heavyweight title match will be Kenta versus Tetsuya Naito on one of the nights during the New Beginning in Sapporo card, and that's going to be a doozy match, because the potential for a title change again is there. Will Tetsuya Naito, who's this awesome double champion right now, have a very limited, almost 1 month title reign with the IWGP title, with Kenta coming in and potentially going for, I guess, his first IWGP World Heavyweight title. The guy was the master in Noah for so many years, but coming into New Japan, different animal, right? Yeah, so that wrapped up the card. Like I said, I don't have any run times or anything down. This was very informal, more tag matches than anything else, but it did a great job in setting up that New Beginning in Sapporo event with, of course, the big, huge feuds of Moxley, Suzuki, Naito, and Kenta, and White and Sonata, and then we got Tana and Ibushi versus Finjuice for the tag titles. It's going to be an awesome February for New Japan. It's going to be amazing. Give it an 8 out of 10, a must watch on the New Japan World website. And if you don't cry during the Liger ceremony, I will assume you have no emotions at all, because it was that emotional. And anyway, I'm Kellen Nitro, Later Days. Happy wrestling watching. Enjoy, have fun. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking the video, and throw your comments below. What did you think of Wrestle Kingdom weekend, and particularly this event, New Year's Dash 2020?